Hey guys, welcome to the daily analysis for January 9th. Guys, today's analysis is probably going to be a bit shorter just because there's not a lot developing in the market in terms of, the difference between what was happening yesterday and today. So I'm just going to quickly go through some of those pairs, some of the ones that we talked about yesterday. Still a lot of them sitting at similar levels, kind of like the euro dollar here, just still sitting on the bottom of that trend line, not breaking through that resistance area or the trend line below it. And there's a lot of situations like that. So might be a little bit shorter, but I hope it is still definitely helpful for you. And I would appreciate any feedback, and of course, sharing it and tweeting it and all of that stuff as well. And another thing I just wanted to quickly remind you before we get started, for those of you who are interested in a signal service, one of the things that we've got a lot of feedback for are people who are looking for signals based on our strategy but still want to trade themselves. We are releasing our signal service that we've been working on for quite some time. We're releasing that very soon, and we're only releasing it to the people who got on the waiting list for that. So some of you may already be on the waiting list. If not, I'll put a link below. Just jump on the waiting list if you're interested to see the signal service and what we're offering. Okay, let's go ahead and get into our news, and then we'll get back into our daily analysis. Alright guys, and as far as news, tomorrow, pretty decent amount, a lot more news than we've had so far in the week. A lot of that is hitting right in the New York session. You can see that we have 7:45 a.m., 8:30 with Canadian, 8:30 with Euro, ECB press conference, big announcement. 8:30 is unemployment claims, like it always is on Thursdays. So a lot of red tagged events packed in there, which should be a pretty interesting dynamic when all that comes out. So we'll definitely want to pay attention to that, see how the market reacts tomorrow. All right, guys, and then we'll just cover the terms real quick. Basically, they're just saying that we're not licensed or qualified by any regulatory authority to allow us to give you investment advice. This is just an educational resource for you and nothing more. So if you need to read through those and understand that better, please go ahead and do that. All right, guys, and again on euro dollar, we're in this nice uptrend. I talked about this before. Really a pretty consistent channel outside of this area of time where it broke above, and we're sitting here with a lot of nice tail bars trying to push, but again, it is coming into a pretty heavy area. 130, 150, all the way up to 132 in this zone. So again, just waiting for a break through that level, or of course a reversal back through to the downside. Either one, waiting for a trade opportunity. But as of now, it's just a patience and waiting game for the euro dollar. All right, U.S. yen making a nice rebound. You can see from this two-bar small retracement, you can see that it built a perfect base in a large bullish bar, looking to show some continuation. Definitely looking like it wants to continue the steep uptrend. Only really area of concern here is that we did just make a high, so this could act as a point of resistance for the continuation of this move. So it kind of depends on if you're one of those people who want to get in now, try to ride this through, or if you want to wait until it breaks the high, maybe retest, and then continues. Either way, it looks like there's definitely some bullish potential and possibility for the U.S. yen, obviously with the amount of momentum, behind it. And the great bar we have today. If I zoom up a little bit, you can just get a little better look and see that it's basically a twin tower bar, built a base right on top of 87, and is looking pretty bullish for today. Obviously, anytime that the market is moving this much, you can have to be careful for a lot of volatility. We could see a massive reversal right back to the downside tomorrow because this US yen just has so much movement in it. But it is looking definitely like a nice bullish continuation bar right now. Okay, pound still being held up, not by much, but you see this tail pierce through and then ended up rebounding, pretty much sitting right on top of this trend line. So again, similar to the euro, it's still a waiting game. We have this little base built here with these tail bars, and looking like it wants to push back up, but obviously not really making any ground as it keeps getting hit back down toward this trend line. So just another one where it's going to be a waiting game to see if we get a nice continuation move, and if so, then we'll look to take advantage of it from there. Euro pound still moving very slowly. You can see we are 4 bars up in a row, but obviously 3 out of 4 of them not making a lot of ground. So just another one that if you're already long like we are, just gotta wait and be patient while attempts to develop, or of course, depending on your strategy, take your profit because you don't want to sit around and wait for it to develop forever. But there's not really any action that I would consider taking now. It is struggling at a significant level here, so could be a patience game, and then it could explode right through, which hopefully is what's going to happen. But for the euro pound, not really a lot of action you can take at this point. And yet another pair that's not really doing a lot is the odd. This is kind of what I was talking about when I was saying that the analysis might be short because there's not a lot of stuff developing. Odd, again, very similar. Lots of small bars sitting up in this resistance zone and really not making any ground whatsoever, which is just another pair that we're going to have to wait for some action on because there's not a lot there right now. I just wanted to mention this euro yen as we talked about yesterday. Looking like a pretty nice potential breakout move. Obviously, a lot of momentum going to the upside because of that yen weakness. And we're starting this little, flag or wedge, whatever you want to call it. And so a little more continuation in between these levels could be leading toward a great breakout back to the upside. So the euro yen is definitely one that I would be stalking and looking to take advantage of. Alright guys, and I'll finish up with the pound New Zealand today. This is one, obviously, a lot of bearish reversal momentum coming from where it broke this base, moved quite fast back into this support zone. So again, this is one, if it breaks lower, you can definitely look to take advantage of a continuation of lower prices, and then definitely a bounce potential as well. Don't forget what the issue with taking long again is that we have all this clustered resistance areas in here, so the profit potential is somewhat limited throughout these zones, which is somewhat annoying if you're looking to trade, but still nonetheless a bounce potential as the pound New Zealand comes back to test this pretty major trend line area. Really, you can see it best on a weekly chart, but showing up here from these points as well. Alright guys, well that's the daily analysis. Again, I apologize, not a lot to go through today, but hopefully tomorrow we'll get some more movement and be able to cover things in a little more depth. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll talk to you soon. Make sure that, again, if you're interested in that signal service, to fill out that form and get on the list. Alright, thanks. Talk to you soon.